let's take a Dylan Brooks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to him. But I'm just saying, things like that, that's where it starts getting...
But Dylan Brooks is a legend.
No, he's not.
Okay, now look, watch this. Hold on. Watch this.
Where's he from? Where's he from?
My point.
He's from Alaska.
Dylan Brooks could be from some Canada or something, right?
Oh yeah, he's from Ontario.
He could be somebody that's the first from his neighborhood, bro, who did what he's doing in America.
But not even just his hood.
To them, he's a legend.
He might, and when he goes on the campus of Oregon, he probably a legend.
He's a legend.
That's a fact. How many guys from Oregon make it to the league and have a career? Not many.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.
Money. It comes with a lot of questions, and Fidelity can help you get answers. Visit fidelity.com/blackwealth to learn more.
All right, guys, welcome back. EYL.
Yeah.
We are in our second home, LA. We out here all the time. So
it's officially, maybe it's officially replaced Atlanta as our second home.
Oh yeah, Atlanta's our second home.
It's tie.
It's a tie.
Come on, man. Y'all got to make Cali the second home. I love Atlanta, though.
Yeah.
I can't blame you. Atlanta is the shit.
Yeah, I got love for both places, man. But we was coming out here for the weekend, and we wanted to, make it as impactful as possible. So we were like, who can we interview? And I shout out to AB. He's like, yo, what about Symba? I think we live out there. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Let's reach out.
Yeah.
And the bro set it up, right? Naj?
Shout out to the whole team.
Bobby. Yeah.
Shout out my boy Schmurder too, man.
Yeah. So they set it up, and we're here. So I'm a fan. I told you that before.
Yeah.
When we connected with 19 Keys at the BET Awards. Was that last year?
Last year.
Last June.
Yeah, last June, Radio Room.
Last June. So that's about a year.
Yeah.
Year around right there. See how a year works.
So it's been dope to see your rise. Been following you on the gram, watching the freestyles, watching everything that you've been doing. So first and foremost, congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Congratulations to y'all too, man. I was just actually watching the Blast episode last
night. How'd you feel about it?
My God, I love it, bro.
That's my God.
I love Vic too.
Yep.
Because Vic is like, he's like the embodiment of like what you have to do, like as the homie or like as the friend that's a part of business that like take matters into your own hands to kind of like simplify a lot of things for artists. So shout out to Vic, man. I love him for that.
Yeah, that's a dope one.
That's the family. We did that here actually.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a fact. But yeah, man. So let's jump right into it. It's gonna be a fun conversation, a lot to talk about. But first, all right. So everybody knows you're out there. You're making a buzz.
Yeah.
Are you signed to a label?
Yes.
What label are you signed to?
I'm signed to the best label in the world. Atlantic Records.
Completely unbiased opinion.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So when did that, because you was independent for a long time.
Yes.
So talk me through that. How did that happen? The thought process? I'm sure you kind of like debated it in your mind, whether that was a good idea or not. Maybe you didn't. Like, going to a label, how did that come about?
Well, for me, bro, I was always somebody that was just like, I just always kind of thought past where I was at the moment. And for me, growing up in the Bay Area, we got, like I say all the time, we got a lack of infrastructure when it comes to the hip-hop music scene. So it was hard for me to kind of develop the team that I needed to kind of help me define what it was that I represent as an artist. So I had to go elsewhere. And through going elsewhere, I ended up leaving the Bay Area and coming down here to Los Angeles. And when I came down to Los Angeles, I started getting in rooms and learning different things. And through that, I kind of started developing like more appreciation for the major side of things. Because it was like you get to kind of take advantage of like all these different opportunities and relationships versus like you going through this uphill battle. And especially for me, it was tough because like I said, I couldn't really develop a team. So I had to hire one. So I partnered with Atlantic back in like 2020. Like right before the pandemic. My first single on Atlantic came out 2 days before the pandemic. So for me, partnering with the majors, it was always about being able to get my music seen like from a broader perspective because I didn't really relate to where I'm from.
Mhm.
I don't really sound like the typical Bay Area artist or have the typical sound. So I always needed like more platforming and different relationships to help me elevate what it was I was trying to do. And, you know, partnering with the major label was easier for me to do that than to take the independent route.
So at first, before you got to Atlanta, you were independent, but you were at Columbia,
Yeah,
right? So talk about that because you went from major to independent, back to major.
yeah.
You know, there was some money that was made. There was a
Yeah.
lot of money that was
Sure,
lost.
sure.
What was that like?
I always say, bro, Columbia was like, so my sister, Chelsea Blythe, she just became the VP at UMG Nashville. Shout out to Chelsea. But she's like the person that really got me into the industry. Like when I was driving down from the Bay Area, I was working with Nick Nack. Y'all remember Nick Nack?
Nick Nack.
I know the name.
Nick Nack was a producer. He produced like These Hoes Ain't Loyal for Chris
Okay.
Brown, but he from the Bay.
Okay.
A legend.
Yeah, but he was like the first person, him and like Starting Six, Young Murph, they were like the first people I seen move from the Bay and come to Los Angeles and really start making a name in the music industry. So I started getting in touch with them and I started doing the same thing, driving down from the Bay, linking up with them down here. And through being down here, I was watching Nick and Murph like go to different major sessions and writing for different people. And I was just learning things. And I was like, damn, I think I need to move down here. So Chelsea was actually an intern at Interscope at the time. So she was just kind of like getting into the game. She was working under Manny Smith. Shout out to Manny. And Chelsea brought me in for a meeting and my music was terrible, but my raps was good. My music was terrible, but my raps was good. And Manny, he seen the potential in me. He was just like, keep doing your thing. And that was like 2 weeks after that, I met Kendrick Lamar.
Oof.
This is right before Good Kid, Mad City. So Kendrick seen a freestyle I did. He was like, bro, you dope. Like, keep doing your thing. A couple weeks later, Chelsea was like, come down to Vegas. I never even told this story. It's crazy.
Exclusive.
Chelsea was like, come to Vegas. Kendrick's performing at Rehab, right? Like, he fucks with you. Like, come down here. So I jump in my Camaro. I got a Camaro at the time, right? Boom, I take that 9-hour drive from the Bay all the way to Vegas. So I get down there, me and my homie Jay Kane. So we get down there and I'm on the side of the stage. So he getting ready to perform. He see me on the side of the stage. He like, come up here. So I'm like looking around like, you talking to me? You feel me? Like, it's K-Dot. Like, come up here. So I go up there, boom, and I'm chilling and I'm just watching the show. And I was like, this what I want to do. I was like, this what I want to do. Like, I was already rapping, but like, I was around people that was working in the industry. But when I seen somebody that like I related to as a rapper, I was like, this what the hell I want to do.
And Rehab was lit back then too.
Lit. This like 2013, 2012, somewhere around.
Yeah, we was there.
Yeah, like it was lit.
Yeah.
So that's what showed you like, all right, this is possible. Like,
No, so I'm about to tell you the whole story. So I look at Chelsea. So I'm like, Chelsea, I'm like, this what I want to do. She like, Sim, you got to move to LA. She was like, it's not the proper resources for you down there. You got to move. So I come down to LA. I'm hustling at the time, doing my thing. I got a couple $, right? I go broke in 90 days. That's what I go.
That's the name of the bio play.
the 90-day challenge.
I go broke in 90 days
Next
because
EP.
I'm thinking I gotta buy the DJs drinks and do all these different things and buy the tables in the club. So I'm just blowing it. But I'm not realizing like I'm supposed to be spending my money on developing my craft. So I ain't went and bought no studio. I ain't went and bought no laptop. I ain't got no software. I'm just going to sessions with Chelsea every day. To the point some people just think I'm the weed man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just rolling up. Like they texted Chelsea like, who's this? Like, so boom. So I started making a little money, just hustling, doing my thing. So I go get me a studio. I get a studio in a rehearsal hall, right, where they playing drums and everything, so you could hear the drums in the back of my music. So me and Chels get the studio. I meet Phonics and D Brooks. They was like the first people that kind of told me like how music was changing. Cause this was at the time of when we was going from like the Drake, Cole, Kendrick CD kind of era into like the streaming era, to where it was more melody driven. So through that, I started writing with them for a lot of different people. Then we got a meeting to go play some records at Columbia.
Okay.
We got to Columbia and I was playing the records that we was writing for people. And they was like, man, we want to sign you, want to put this out. But the records really wasn't me. It wasn't like me rapping and who I was. It was me doing what I think would work for other people. But I needed the money at the time. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm paying for this studio. I'm going broke. So they like, we going to give you $150,000. I'm like, run it. You feel me? I'm like, run it.
Where do I sign?
Yeah, where do I sign? Because I'm already knowing, like, I'm probably only going to put, like, 1 or 2 songs out and get dropped. Because I don't even know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Got
So
150 though.
What kind of deal was it? Like 3 album, 2, like it was
it was like a 2 project. No, it was like 3 albums, I think.
3 albums.
3 albums. 3 albums. And really, honestly, that happened because of Chelsea. Because I had no buzz, nothing. Like, she was the new A&R. She got hired over there. And the first person she signed was me. You know what I mean? So she brought me in.
Relationships.
Yeah, shout out to Chelsea because that really kind of like helped boost like my thought process on what it is I need to do to better myself, to where when I got to Atlantic, I was more prepared and kind of knew how to move.
Yeah, you got to go through that to get to this.
Yeah. My bad for being so long-winded.
Just curious, what'd you do with the 150? Blew it?
Or did you even get the wrong? How'd that work?
Nah, so I learned a little bit from when I moved to LA. So don't get me wrong, I fucked off a lot of the money. I went and bought a Maserati. Like,
so you got it up front, 150 up front.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went and got a Maserati, just doing all kind of shit. But I invested into my studio. I started paying like different songwriters to come by the studio and teach me how to write hooks and different things like that. Phonics and D Brooks played a big part in that as well. But I invested in myself getting better as an artist. And through that, by the time that deal was over with, I dropped 1 song. For
that whole deal.
Yeah, and it was a whole regime change, like 3 weeks after I dropped the song.
And they just let you go?
Let me go.
And you didn't have anything, you didn't have like anything that you owed them, anything like that?
Nothing. See, that's the good thing about labels. I be telling LaRussell that, like, all the time. Like, I'll be like,
That's our guy.
Like, bro, you could just go get like a quick 300 right quick and just get them people what they want and get out their way.
Ain't really working.
Like, it ain't like the streets where it's like, you could even pay a nigga back in the streets. He gonna always remind you, remember I let you hold that 300,000, man. You owe me this. Like, it's different. It's like, it's business. Like, you know, you take what you get from them. However the business deal go is how it go.
So one of the things that, all right, so from my vantage point, the major label gives you that stardom, right? It gives you like the push. It pushes you on different platforms. They play your song on the radio. They, you know, the downside to that is most of the time they own your music. They own the masters, right?
It's a downside depending on how you look at it.
Of them owning your masters? All right, what's your take on that?
Some people can't do shit with their own masters.
What's the point of owning
100% of nothing?
It's worth nothing.
You just making $3,500 of every 90 days off your music and you own your rights. Why not give up a percentage to get a...
So you're comfortable with not owning your masters?
At the moment.
Because you see in the future, you want to own your masters?
Yeah.
Or you, okay. But right now, you're looking at it from a standpoint where you're sacrificing not owning your masters now to get to the point where you have stardom. So your masters
deeper than stardom for me, it's also learning the industry. it's learning the game. So let's say one day I'm not in a situation with Atlantic, I'll still know who to call and who to talk to and who does what in what department at Apple, who does what at Spotify, and who I need to talk to get playlisted over there. So it's deeper than just stardom, it's learning the system. So one day I'm gonna have to create my own, and then I'll know who to go to make that spark.
The time has come, ladies and gentlemen.
InvestFest, that's right.
That's right. InvestFest 2023 is here.
August 25th, 26th, and 27th in Atlanta, Georgia. We are taking it to a new level. Bigger than ever. This year, we're going to do 20,000 people in Atlanta, Georgia.
I want you to do yourself a favor. Head over to investfest.com right now.
We will have activations from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3 days, musical performances, billionaires. Everything is going to be a completely life-changing experience. Vendor marketplace, food truck village, you know how we do.
Don't wait, don't hesitate, head over now.
Yeah,
Relationships.
Yeah, it's one of those advantages, and I think even for us when Charlemagne was, we were over at Black Effect, it was like figure out what everybody's doing, because at some point what y'all are building will be bigger, and you'll know the people to go to.
Exactly.
You said something very important. You said that you didn't have the team, you had to build one.
Yeah.
And it made me think of this line on Sacrifices, and you were saying the people that I'm with ain't the people I should have made it with.
Yeah.
That's pretty complex.
Yeah.
Right? So like talk about that, because it's like you are aware that these ain't the people I should be around.
Yeah.
The people on the other side are the people that really gave me the push to get here. How do you manage that?
So, like I said, bro, in the Bay, it was tough for me to develop a team. In the Bay Area, it's tough. It's tough trying to break through. And everybody got their own things going on. And it's not like my friends are passionate about my dream as I am. So it's tough to make them a part of that sometimes, when it's like you growing at a certain pace and they not like kind of growing at the job that they need to do to help keep you there. You know what I mean? So it was very tough for me to try to like put a team together amongst who I was around. So I had to go find outsourced help. So the people who ended up helping me, like my production company, who I'm signed to, Star Island, shout out to them. They're based out of Philadelphia. But that happened through a relationship that I had with someone that they introduced me to them. We seen eye to eye on the same things. I seen they just as passionate about what they do as I am with what I do. And I'm like, you know what? I need to link with them. They ended up getting me my deal at Atlantic. You know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes you gotta kind of reach out, and get outsource help, but that don't mean you gotta forget who didn't help. It's still, as you grow, you'll be able to open new doors and find new roles for people that was there before.
And I want to go back to the label thing, because that was pretty insightful. It's like sometimes you have to infiltrate the system to learn the system.
Exactly.
To create your own system.
Yeah.
And that's something that Dame, you know Dame?
Yeah.
Dame always tell us that all the time, like, because we work with a lot of different corporate relationships. Like, we got a show, Revolt. Shout out to Revolt.
Yeah, shout out to Revolt.
He did an episode with us, and he came in, and he says like a movie production. It was like 100 different cameramen and all of that. And he was like, yo, how much does this cost to do this? I'm like, I don't know. And he was like, well, how don't you know? I'm like, well, this isn't our production, it's their production. He was like, you turning the talent that quick? He was like, you supposed to know. Like, he was like, even if it's not, you're not paying for it, now you understand how a higher level production works, and you can say, okay, this is needed, this isn't needed, this is da-da-da-da. And then when he said that to me, I'm like, damn, he's right. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like, when we're producing shows like that, we already have the inside information because we've learned it. A lot of people just go through it and they're just talent.
Yep.
They never take the time to learn the business, but it's like, that's really like being an intern.
Yep.
Like, you got the inside vantage point of how a corporate structure works. And that's actually what we did, even, like I said, with iHeart. Like, now we see how contracts work, how to run a podcast network.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now we can run a podcast network kind of mirrored off of, we take some things, we add different things. So I think people need to fully understand that. Like, no matter what you do, you play sports, you do music, whatever, it's okay not to be the owner, but you should be learning.
You should understand what's going on.
That's a fact.
Because it's like, you never know how you're going to need something. You know what I mean? Or when you're gonna need it. So it's like you could be going through something, you might think like, oh, okay, this is how I seen it done over here. So let me kind of see how this works over here. Let me apply something over here. But if you never see that, you'll never know to do that.
That's a fact.
So I agree with that, bro. 1,000%.
So let me ask you this. As far as you have a very unique way of marketing yourself on social media, right? Like freestyles and you're active. It's similar to LaRussell. Like I feel like you guys, because a lot of artists don't utilize social media. Like they have like 8 posts.
Yeah.
They're like very like artsy with it. Like they got like one post like with a banana and it's just like no caption.
Yeah.
I understand that, I guess, mystique. But you guys, you on Instagram like every day. Like, so what's your strategy with that? Like you just gonna just put out 10 posts a day?
Nah, see, LaRussell's different. LaRussell do about 6 posts a day. Like on a good day, I might give you 2. But I try to curate like things of culture. You know what I mean? Like things that we haven't seen in a while. Like I always think like what would hip hop in the early 2000s look like in 2023? That's how I kind of approach social media. So it's like what will Pac be doing courtside? You know what I'm saying? With the camera out. Like, how will Hov be rapping? What will he be addressing? So for me, I'm always trying to find like cultural moments that we as a culture could kind of be like, damn, this make me feel something, or this makes me remember a time in hip hop that I was growing up, or something like that. So for me, it's always looking for cultural moments. I'm not like just into like freestyling every day on my platform, like, or just posting music every day. Like, I post the things that I like to do, and I try to tie them into the culture that I love and show people how we could all come together through social media.
Yeah, you said that community is your thing.
Yeah.
Building community.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting. I'm listening to you, and you talking about mom.
Yeah.
And mom was big on community, bought homes, had real estate.
Yeah.
Right? Bought a restaurant.
Yep.
I'm like, you watched mom do all that, and you still said, I want to go into the world of entertainment.
Yeah.
So talk about the lessons that you learned from mom, watching her build community and being an entrepreneur, that made you say, all right, well, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I want to do it in music.
Bro, I was an entertainer before my mama was a real estate agent. Like, I just knew as a kid, like, this was what I was going to do. Whether it was in sports, you know what I mean? Whether it was in music, whether it was in movies, whatever it was going to be, I just knew I was going to be in entertainment. And I love what my mom do. You know what I mean? Like, my mom always like, you should do this, you should do that, jumping really. It's just not something I'm passionate about. Like, I'm passionate about entertaining people with information. You know what I mean? And learning things and showing people how, like, you could grow up. And it's cool to grow. Like, I be feeling like in hip-hop sometimes, like, they make it like we all gotta just be like a young wild nigga. You know what I mean? Like, we can't just grow up, you know what I mean? And post our cribs, post our families and different things like that. So I try to be like a representation of that. And my mom, what's crazy is she was a rapper. My mom was a rapper before she was a real estate agent. So technically, I'm the version of my mom that didn't make it.
Yeah, a dream deferred.
Didn't make it in music because she made it in real estate.
So she invests in real estate too, right?
Yeah, she's heavy in real estate.
So I know you're not passionate about that, but do you like consult? Like, is there a situation where it's like, all right, I'm gonna give you some money and then you do it, or I'm investing you?
Nah, like, we just literally got a property. Me and one of my partners right here, not like literally, bro, about 2 miles away.
Oh, yeah?
On Hollywood Boulevard.
So you are investing in real estate?
Yeah, like, I got a media company that we actually started. So that's why when we was talking about infiltrating the system, these same cameras you got, we just bought.
Oh.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I can show you, I'll show you my whole thing and my setup, but we getting ready to produce a lot of different shows out of our space. So we got a 4-floor unit. And on the first floor is for podcasting, television, and film. The second floor, we got a watch room. The third floor, we got a studio. And the fourth floor is for gaming and AI. So I'm all about, like, innovation. That's what I'm passionate about. But real estate is not something to where I could just sit here and tell you, well, the market is doing this, so you know what I mean? Like, that ain't what I do. I talk to my mom. I let her know what I want to do, and then I invest in things kind of around that.
So a content house.
Yeah.
It's a good idea, especially in LA.
Yeah.
Everybody's making content, and you hit every one. You got a studio, recording studio in there too?
Yeah.
So you got the podcast, recording studio, gaming studio. That's everything.
Yeah.
That's everything that people are doing right now.
Yeah.
So talk about. So we spoke to Akon, and he was talking about like how music. For him, he was like, if you look at all of the people that's really been successful as far as like making a lot of money, they ain't do it through music. He was like, his thing was always just use music as a catalyst to get into the door, to build your name, to get recognition, and then just start spinning off and doing other things. Obviously, you still newer in the game, but is that something that you thought about or you're thinking about as far as like, you know, using your stardom and then, you know, branching off and doing other stuff?
So I agree with that until Akon said a certain word. A certain word was through, because all of this shit happened through music. You know what I mean? Like, so yes, we may not obtain the money through real estate we can make, but music is what gave us the money to go into real estate. So 1000%, that's something that I definitely want to do. Like, I was talking to Joe. That's who kind of taught me that. I know y'all know Joe.
Fat Joe?
No, Joe Budden.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we know.
And Joe told me,
I think
Joe told me like 2 years ago, like, he was like, bro, you're going to do good in rap. You're going to do all these different things, but you should really lock into your other passions, because it comes down to what else can you do outside of music, because you have to do it again in different spaces. So that's the whole reason why I wanted to create a content house, because it was like, what's the one thing I'm missing to make me feel like I'm not giving my best every day? And what I notice is, which is something I'm fixing now, my schedule used to be so scattered. You know what I mean? I'll be at a session this day. I'm doing a podcast this day. Somebody called me to do this video. I'm popping up. I didn't really like create a balance. And because of that, I would be recording at this studio or recording at this studio with this engineer and this different engineer. My music would kind of be sounding a little bit all over the place. So I needed somewhere to like centralize my creativity. And that was the whole point of the content space. So what we're doing there is creating different podcasts, creating different television shows, creating music and different brands for different people, and gaming and different ideas like that. So that's definitely something that.
So is that studio like anybody can just rent out, or is it like in-house, like these people are like kind of like signed to you?
It's something people could rent out, but just not the public. The public can't rent it out, but if you connected and know how to get in touch with the studio manager will lock you in to get through.
So you're building that, right? So you're building the studio manager. It's become.
No, we got it already. Shout out to Brad, my man Brad.
It's already done.
Yeah, we got a studio manager. We actually looking for a producer right now to like come in and produce a lot of these different ideas that we have. And we just sat down with 3 different people this week. So it's full, like, coming together. I plan to have everything up and running by August 1st. But like we coming together strong.
So do you plan to scale it? So I know you started here, but real estate is a global thing, right? And so you got ties to Philly. We know you're in New York. Is a vision to scale this model and do it throughout the country, the world?
1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%. And like, even when you like walk in, like, I want to take y'all so y'all can see it, but it's like when you walk in, it's more of like a museum of culture.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I got paintings coming in that's like Mount Rushmores are like New York rappers, and Mount Rushmores are LA rappers, and Mount Rushmores are Southern rappers, and like a podcast painting. So it's like kind of like a real creative house for our culture, to where when people come in, it's like you actually want to be creative and want to work.
It's like FaZe House. No, you know FaZe Clan?
I don't think I
FaZe Clan is this big video gaming crew. They got like $1 billion valuation. They're huge, like a lot of rappers and athletes and all of that. But I
think I heard of them. My boys from Game Over was telling me about that.
Yeah.
So they created a whole culture. My son put me on to him because he's a gamer. So I started doing research on them, and they've created a whole culture. They have a house, and they got like 12 different people. It's like, you know, different personalities, but they play video games.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that house is just like a cultural phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the idea of doing something like that with a hip hop twist, I think is dope.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be hosting, like I'm getting ready to drop a new project soon. I'm gonna be doing my listening party there. You know what I mean? For an exclusive 50 people. Like, I was just with Dave Chappelle the other night, you know, and he was talking, I was showing him the studio and everything. We was talking about possibly him coming through and doing like something private, you know what I mean? Just like making it like a place of like,
Just a vibe.
yeah, like cultural shit. We even came up with this idea of having a restaurant that's open 12 days a year. You know, and like each
Pop up
once a month.
yeah, like a pop-up thing, and you
Celebrity
invite
chef?
different people. Exactly, you invite different people. So like it's coming together real cool.
No, that's dope. That's a vibe.
Yeah,
I like that. 12 days a year, that means once a month.
yeah.
Have
And then
everybody.
each day of the month would be a different theme. So like, let's say January would do Italian, February it'd be soul food, March would be like Chinese food, like something different every time.
Creative house?
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually had a similar idea to that. We actually implemented, but just for events. Shout out to United Masters. We have a franchise with them called Earn Your Masters.
Yeah.
We do South by Southwest. We do Art
Oh yeah, I've
Basel,
seen it.
and we did New York Fashion Week. And it's like a pop-up event, and we like interview like Timberland, and we have like musical artists perform, like Toby perform. And it's just kind of like a bunch of just random stuff, just cultural. But that idea for the house was something that, you know, originally thought about. Even like going back to the real world.
Yeah.
Remember the real world?
Exactly.
Like, you know
Grew
what
up
I'm
in that.
saying?
Exactly.
Like,
You from that era, you know that.
Yeah.
That was the first social media.
Yeah.
That was the first social media. That was the first time we
First
seen
reality-
people.
reality TV.
I say social media.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say why I say social media, because I feel like reality TV is a form of social media, but I feel like it was the first time we seen people we didn't know from nowhere
Yeah.
just on a public platform becoming a celebrity.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's more social media than, even though it was reality TV, but it's like that's what social media is today. It's like everybody has a public platform for them to have an opinion.
Everyday person.
You know what I mean? Be somebody. And Real World was like the first kind of concept we seen of that.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. I never thought about it like that, but that's a fact.
Shout out to the original New York cast.
Yeah.
Jersey Shore too.
Heather B.
That's
What
a
up?
fact. So you have an interesting song, The GOAT.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Mount Rushmore, that made me think about that. There's always debates on the GOATs, right? Who's the LeBron, Jordan, top 5, top 4 basketball players? Who's the top 4 lyricists, top 5 dead or alive? Your spin on it is that we all GOATs,
We all goats.
but everybody can't be a GOAT. Let's be honest.
You can.
Can you? Really?
Because where in the United States Constitution is there laws for a goat?
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
no, because GOAT, the GOAT.
Well, we got to first give homage to LL, because before LL, we never heard the word GOAT.
But I think Muhammad Ali was.
I don't know if that's true.
If I went back and looked, he called
pioneered-
himself the greatest of all time.
Muhammad Ali called himself the
The
greatest.
acronym, though.
LL, he
I
pioneered.
heard a story that it was somebody before LL, but I can't remember the story, so I shouldn't even have said that. But I heard it was somebody.
He was
before.
running with that. He named his album
the
that.
GOAT. And he was, he said he was vocal. He was very vocal.
The acronym.
He owned it. He was the
owned
first
it.
one
Yeah,
to own it.
yeah.
He owned it.
Yeah, I think you can't, anybody could be a GOAT because there's no law or there's no real criteria to say who's the greatest of all time.
But do you water down like the word legend, right? It gets watered down.
Legend different, though.
Definitely.
Is everybody a legend?
Well, I think
No.
legend, there could be multiple, right? When you say greatest, it almost becomes singular, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're the greatest to do something, then you're the best to do it.
Yeah.
Legend is like multiple. You could be a legend in different genres and different things.
Yeah.
But I understand why you said that, and I appreciate the message. I think, like, let's take a Dylan Brooks, right?
Mhm.
Shout out to him. But I'm just saying, things like that, that's where it starts getting.
But Dylan Brooks is a legend.
No, he's not.
Okay, now look, watch this. Hold on. Watch this.
Where's he
Watch
from?
this.
Where's he from?
My point.
He's from Alaska. Is he from Alaska?
Dylan Brooks could be from some Canada or something, right?
Oh yeah, he's from
So-
Ontario.
He could be somebody that's the first from his neighborhood, bro,
Yeah.
who did what he's doing in America.
But not even just his hood.
To them, he's a legend.
He might, and when he goes on the campus of Oregon, he probably a legend.
He's a
there.
legend.
That's a fact. How many guys from Oregon make it to the league and have a career? Not many.
Shout
Shout out to Dylan Brooks, man.
It leads way.
I'll see you in the NBA next season, my
leads
brother.
way to a false reality though, because a lot of even in rap, right? There's rappers where you start to disregard like a true legend, right, and say like, "Yo, he's not all," and it's like that comes from
It's
a lack.
tears.
That
Is
comes from a
Soulja
lack
Boy a
of-
legend?
Yes.
Yes.
Is Hurricane Chris a legend?
Hurricane Chris, hey baby,
Yeah.
that legend word is just so strong.
Is
bro.
Hurricane
You
Chris
saying
a
he's
legend?
from the Bay?
To me,
No,
no,
he's
he's
not
from
from the Bay.
Louisiana.
Oh,
Is Hurricane Chris a legend?
No,
Because he has a legendary song?
yeah,
Yes.
How is he not a legend?
because he hasn't his body of work. I think in order to be a legend, it's like a resume, right? The resume doesn't check those. One thing doesn't make you a legend. It's a legendary
What's the
moment.
pure definition of legend?
Doing things that nobody has ever done, being extremely consistent, doing it on larger scales, being a pioneer. These are all things that you can say. All right, you check a lot of these boxes. You're a legend.
Okay.
To
I
me.
think Hurricane Chris checks off about 3 of those things you said.
3?
Yeah.
What's 3?
Except consistency.
All right. Well, shout out to
He
Because he
owns
did
them.
something legendary. And he did something most people can't do, which is make a hit record.
That's a fact.
And what was the other one you said? You said
Uh,
consistency,
Pioneer.
pioneer. He pioneered some shit.
What did he pioneer?
Hey, baby. But that's not his, though. Hey, baby's not his.
Yes,
He
it is.
pioneered turning the
Nah.
DJ's name into a hook.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a DJ. It's a DJ's name.
Hey,
Shout out to Bebe.
Yeah,
He's from
remember,
Dallas.
we
Shout
met
out to
him the same
Bebe.
the same day we met you. We met him. He was
Yeah.
like, "Yo, that's mine."
We met Bebe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did we?
at
Radio Room?
At Radio Room.
Shout out.
He was the first one to
He's
make
a
a
legend.
DJ's
Exactly.
name
He's
a hit record.
Exactly. Okay, there you go. Well,
He's a legend. But
nah,
shout
he's
out.
not the first. We can't even give him that.
Who?
Eric B for president makes the DJ the legend. The song's not even rock. It's Eric B for president.
But Bebe's the hook.
But Eric B for president makes the DJ on the forefront.
Eric B for President was the name of the song.
Exactly.
But even Jazzy Jeff.
Doesn't have a song.
All right, we sound like dinosaurs.
All right. Where we going next? Africa?
I want to go to Africa, man.
Africa.
And because I watched that trip that you took, and it was powerful.
Yeah.
And we drove down those roads. We went to Lagos, Nigeria ourselves.
Yeah.
And to see you do it, I was like, wow, he gets it.
Yeah.
So I want to know what inspired that trip, because most people, and we just came from African, and shout out to everybody at African.
Yeah.
You know, that we were honored out there, and we understood the mission of connecting the diaspora. And bigger than just talking about it, actually going to see the people and putting your feet on the ground. So I want to know what inspired you, and then we'll take it from there.
Earners, what's going on? Listen, EYLU is relaunching, revamping, retooling. That's right, we're creating a new educational experience that's more expansive. Shawty, tell them what we got.
Yes, 2023. We got a lot in store, a lot planned for you guys. So you know that EYLU already includes monthly financial planning calls with me, book club calls with Troy, real estate calls with MG, the mortgage guy, access to the home buying blueprint, volume 1 and volume 2. Part of the revamp will include 27 local chapters from across the United States, live interactive teaching, hands-on, not just pre-recorded videos, plus 15 brand new curriculums.
The biggest just got bigger.
So I was sitting in Atlanta when I was on tour, and I was talking to this guy, and I was like, saying all these different things about where I want to go. And he was like, I said something like, I'm an African American man. We was talking about something. He was like, oh, you ever been to Africa? And I was like, nah. And he was like, so you're an African American man and you've never been to Africa? And I was like, damn. And it hurt even more that a white dude said it.
Ooh.
It was like, damn. So I was like, I need to go to Africa. So I started looking into like what I could do to go and all these different things. So I got a homie named Ayo who's from Nigeria. Met through my guy Frank. Shout out Frank. And Ayo was telling me he was actually getting ready to go back over there and do some things for the kids, and telling me how like everybody comes over there and they usually bring like clothes or money, but they never really bring things to like help these kids or whatever. So I was like, man, let's go. Like, I'm down to go. So we all go over there, and immediately when we get over there, we realize like, well, right before we kind of knew like it was they're not as advanced in technology as we are over here, right? As for like, they got computers and different things like that, but they don't have it in abundance like we do.
Mm-hmm.
So we was already talking about bringing laptops over there for the kids, but I got a homegirl who works in AI. She has a dope program that we was like, we could put onto the laptops to where it could help the kids learn to navigate through the computer faster. So we go over there, bro. And immediately, dog, when I get over there, it was like a culture shock. It was like a real culture shock because the first thing is so hot.
At the airport.
Bro.
The airport, like a bus terminal. No disrespect, but I'll let you finish, but we got a story. All right.
We got a few
Bro,
stories.
We got a lot of stories about.
Bro, it was so hot to where immediately, like, it make you take the labels off. You feel like you're not worried about getting fly every day.
Nah.
You ain't worried about your outfit. You ain't worried about that. So that process puts you in humanity. You know what I'm saying? So now you moving like how you don't have to move over here. A lot of it over here is about elitist and status and all these different things, what kind of shoes you got on. Over there is like, what you really contributing to our people. You know what I mean? Like, how are you helping us as a people? So I get over there, man, and I'm moving through. So we would stand on the island, and then we would go into the mainland every day.
Mm-hmm.
So we going into the mainland, and I'm seeing just like cows and like people just like selling everything they could find and like doing all these different things. So I met this kid's in front of the store, he's rapping or whatever. I'm like, damn, this kid kind of dope. I ended up posting the kid or whatever.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, posted him. It went up. Everybody in Nigeria start
tagging them and all.
Yeah, start tagging them, everything, right? So I immediately start getting hit. Yo, we want you to come to this radio station. Yo, we want you to come to this thing. Like, oh, we want you to come to Africa Today. It's like the CNN Africa over there. So now I'm on a press run. You know what I mean? Organic. I'm on an organic press run, just like literally went there to see the city. I'm on a press run, and I'm bringing Lucky with me. Bringing them with me, talking about everything. So on the first day, we go do some interviews, and I'm like, man, I'm hungry. So we go over to this restaurant across the street, and we get some food, and I'm like, what you want to eat? And he like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what you mean? So my homie, he like, Lucky, you ever ate at a restaurant? He like, no.
Damn. How old was he?
14. He was like, you ever had a hamburger or anything? He was like, no. It's like pretty much like he eats rice and like these things called bones every day, which is like these like small chicken, they like chicken gizzards kind of. So we get him a hamburger, bro, and I watch him eat the hamburger, and it immediately made me just be like, bro, we got life fucked up. We got life fucked up over here, bro. We be so consumed with the bullshit to where it's like we don't even really see the life in front of us. So from that day, from when I seen that, I just started living in it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I just start going where the people was at. If people was hitting me like, yo, you got this going on, I'm like, I'm pulling up. DeVito had a concert. I pulled up. He brought me out on stage. You know, so one thing I noticed was just like the love. I'm doing all this movement. I ain't looked over my shoulder one time. I ain't felt like nobody was about to rob me one time. I ain't feel like nobody was finna take my jewelry or do something to my son not one time. Now, they gonna ask you for some money. They gonna ask you for some money. You know what I mean?
I saw when you pulled up with the van.
Yeah, they gonna ask you for a little money. But it wasn't like I felt threatened if I didn't give him any.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was just like, God, like this is how it should feel with us amongst our people. It shouldn't feel like I gotta have a gun to go to this spot because bro might take my chain, or I gotta park my car over here because, you know, like it didn't feel like that not one time. It just felt like love. So it just really put me in a space, bro, of like living and just letting life happen instead of trying to make it happen.
How long was you there for?
2 weeks. I was there for 2 weeks. I was supposed to go to Ghana the second week, and then I just fell in love with the people in Nigeria. I was like, bro, I'm staying here. Like, fuck it, I'm here with the people.
That you said something. So is that what you found? Because you said this quote. You said that we buy things here to showcase a part of ourselves that we never took time to find. And so I'm wondering, is that what you found, that inner peace to saying like, this is what life should be?
Bro, like, I ain't really, if you peep, like the last, like, since I got back, I ain't really been wearing jewelry. I wear my watch, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't really wear it because over there it made me realize, like, bro, this shit don't make me a better rapper. It don't make me a better person. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just something to show people, to get them to pay attention to me. I could find another way to do that. I'm creative enough to find another way to do that. So it's like, I ain't about to just feel like I gotta just put on jewelry every day to go do an interview or make people rock with my music. You either gonna rock with it or you not. And I'm at peace with that. I'm not trying to impress you no more.
Liberating feeling?
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, let life happen. However it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
And that was because of Nigeria?
All because of Nigeria, bro. The whole time. Like, the first 2 days was rough.
Why?
Because you can't really shower the way we shower over here because we can't drink their water. So as nice as a house that we was in, the shower thing was still like a sprinkler. So it's like I'm washing my body, but I can't really wash my face. I'm washing my face with a bottle of water, brushing my teeth with a bottle of water. You know, so it was just like,
That's fact, yeah.
it was a culture shock. But it's like once you get used to it, you get used to the heat. You ain't really tripping off like clothes and what you gotta wear and like all these different things. It's just like it's people in the club actually partying.
Yeah.
Now the parties is
Party's
crazy.
crazy. You
Like
said
they dance.
you didn't move around with any security?
You know, I had security.
Okay.
I had top flight security.
Yeah, I'm like, wait.
Had top flight security of the world. Bro.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? We had cops.
Yeah.
I ain't one of them rappers that be talking, I'm out here all my jewelry on, cuz.
Nah, I was gonna
I'm here every day, no security.
Yeah,
That ain't
yeah.
me, champ. I was running around with cops, champ. I got my son out there. I gotta get back home.
Military.
Yeah, I gotta get back home, bro.
Nah, that's a fact.
I gotta get home.
That's how we was moving, man.
At all times.
Yeah, everywhere.
It
They
was like-
slept at the house.
Yeah. Outside waiting for us.
Yeah, they was at the crib. Like, it
Okay.
was serious.
Yeah,
but-
I was like, I thought that part got left out there. I was like, wait, did he have no? Okay, he did.
Yeah, nah, I definitely did. But
Safety first.
nah, going over there, like it showed me, and then like I shot the music video that we just dropped, Top G over there, and even how that happened, like,
That was in the projects?
bro, like one of the worst hoods over there. It's called Lagos Island.
How'd that happen?
Dog, I'm in the crib. Now keep in mind, I bring a studio over there, so my crazy ass.
What do you mean you
fine.
bring a studio?
Like I brought like a laptop with like a mic and like a studio setup.
Okay.
So my ass over there finding random people on the street that's singing. Like, bro, come to the crib. Like, get on the Sprinter. Like, come to the crib. Like I'm to the point my homie I was like, Sim, you gotta chill.
Doing too much.
Yeah, like everybody
Way
can't
too
just be
much.
coming over there like
Yeah,
that.
way too much.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna chill. So I'm bringing people to the crib, bro, and they just recording. Like they recording, and I'm like, damn, these dudes is talented as hell. Like, you know, they talented as hell. So the engineer who I had engineering, I kept telling him like, no, we had got back. The day we had got back from taking the laptops to the school. We got 100 laptops to the school. We went and did that. I got back, and my homie Self, who was the engineer that was engineering all the kids that was over there. He was like, bro, is this something you wanted to do, like, before you get up out of here? Because I was leaving in 2 days. And I was like, man, I did want to shoot a video, but I couldn't really get it how I wanted to get it. And he was like, what you want it to look like? I was like, bro, I want to show Nigeria. Like, I don't want to show the island. You know what I mean? Like we could show that too. Like, let's show both sides. Let's show the difference between the island and the mainland. So if you watch the video, it's a conversation with me and myself. Like, that's kind of like the island and the mainland. So I'm starting off in the mansion, right, where I'm in the crib. That's the island where the cribs is nice and it's gold trimming on the tile and the marble and everything.
Banana Island?
Nah, it's Lagos Island.
Okay.
So these were the big cribs and everything. But then when you go into the mainland, it's more poverty. So we showing both sides of it. So I'm telling him that I want to show that. He like, I got the perfect people for you. So he called his production crew called Whack People. And they come through and literally, bro, like 2 hours. Like, just pull up to the crib. They like, yeah, bro, what you want to do? I'm like, man, I want to shoot a video, but like, I want it to look clean. I don't want it to look like we just had a regular DSLR camera and we just shot whatever. And he was like, nah, I got you. He was like, give me a couple hours. Right? So he called back in like 6 hours. He was like, when you want to shoot? I'm like, shit, we could shoot now. He like, I'm on the way. So they pull up, bro. They got all the equipment. We go to this spot where my man Vector, that's his neighborhood that we was at. So that whole community over there, Vector take care of a lot of that community. He's a big staple over there. He's like what Kendrick Lamar is to us. He's that to them over there. So go meet Vector, tell him what I want to do. He's like, come on, bro, I'll take you through. We go through the neighborhood. We just film the video, bro, like all night. And we just chilling. Like, we eating, like, I'm taking they herbal shots and everything.
You got
like,
some Jell-O fries?
Yeah, I ate gel off every day. But I was just over there, bro, just rocking with the people. I had my son with me outside, bro. It was like 12 midnight. We just out there in the neighborhood kicking in with the kids, and it was just love. It was love. So it's definitely something that's a part of my life at this point, because we actually ended up signing Lucky.
Oh, yeah?
Wow.
Yeah. So we got him a spot over there. He has a studio over there now because he was living in a straw house with 7 siblings. His parents less fortunate. So we actually, got him in a better situation. He's making music. But the thing that impressed us about Lucky the most was more than the music and everything. He said the main thing he wanted in life was to learn, because he never really had the chance to go to school. So we helping him, get in school and learning. So more than just putting his music out and like trying to turn him to a rap star, it's like allowing him the ability to grow up and have a dream. I feel like a lot of kids over there don't really get the time to dream. So that's something that we want to provide for him.
Oh, that's dope.
That's context, man. We talk about education reform here, but we miss the part where it's like there's people who only have access to education.
Yeah.
So that's big. I mean, when you were there, one of the things we saw was the amount of youth.
Yeah.
There's so much youth.
Yeah.
And so we always look at Africa as a place, especially Nigeria, as a place of like tremendous resource, right? Because imagine if you give or you help import education, import mindset, import infrastructure and business. What does the country look like? What does the continent look like? Is that something that you plan to do going forward, continuously going to Africa, going to different countries inside of the continent?
So me and Vector actually is working on a project together. And we actually are shooting a documentary that we started over there. And it's called Bridge the Gap. And it speaks on, and the documentary will be the first documentary produced by my media company that I was telling you guys about. But it goes into the difference between, and so does the project we making with the music to it. It goes into the difference between the African and the African American. And statistically, a whole bunch of different things that we cover, and why we are the way we are. And really kind of highlighting that to motivate people over here to stop looking at Africa as a place with just kids with flies in their face, that like what America shows us over here. Like a lot of Americans think that a lot of Africans don't rock with us over there. And I asked that question over there, and that's not necessarily true. The media paints that perception, so we look at them that way, and there's this combative spirit. But really, bro, our people love us. They love us over there. So if we took time to actually go over there and like, okay, let's build a school. Let's build a gymnasium. Let's build studios. Let's build, like I seen 3 gas stations the whole time I was there, bro. Like, let's go build some gas stations over there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the process? Even if we can't figure out how to do it, let's figure the process out so the next generation can. But I feel like that's something we need to look forward to, because on some real shit, like, America ain't doing too good right now, champ. You know what I mean? And eventually we gonna have to go over there and see what's going on with our people. So it's important that we start somewhere. We gotta start somewhere, but that's definitely something I'm interested in, is, you know, getting some things going over there and bringing more people back over there so we could unify over there.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. We've been tapping in a lot with the continent, and we were in DC a while ago, and we was talking to some people from East Africa, and one of the women specifically, she was talking about the movie Black Panther, right? Very insightful. You're from the Bay Area, so like the Black Panther movie, especially that first one, it's a lot of hidden messages in that. Like, I mean, obviously the Black Panther Party starting in Oakland, but as far as like how she described it to me was ill. She was like, you know, it's like a parent that has a child, right? Where the child might have been abducted and the parent didn't really fight for the child. So it's 2 parts to this. Now, the child starts to act out, right? Becomes more sexually active, joins gangs. It's all out of like frustration because they have an attachment to their biological parents, but they don't necessarily know them, but they've never really gotten over that feeling of just being kicked out and left alone and not, like, you never came back for me. And then the parents have some sort of a grief, and they kind of feel some sort of blame for not going after the child. So it's trauma on both sides, right? And it's like the only way to really heal that trauma is to be reconnected.
Yeah.
And it was like Killmonger in the movie, like he's a very rebellious person, and it's like his story to me is like the story of African Americans, right? And it's like I feel like we've both been played against each other, where it's like we look at it
big
like,
time.
Not everybody, but there's been a campaign in the media to be like, oh, these Africans don't care about you, da-da-da-da, like they sold you to slavery, da-da-da-da. And then the Africans is like, well, they're slaves, like they're nonsense. They're always troublemakers in America. They always get in trouble. They killing each other. They doing all of that, right? But it's like there's reasons for both sides why there's dysfunction. And now I think it's dope, and especially with the music, is now we starting to bridge that gap, and we realizing that there's more similarities than differences, and we have expertise that could be beneficial because we went through a system in America that nobody has ever gone through, and we survived it. And they have the resources, so it's like if we can lend our expertise with their traditions and their resources, now that's an unstoppable combination.
It's very unstoppable. It will make us like the most dominant place on earth. You know what I mean? Like I'm fully for it, bro. Like I'm all for it. That's a great analogy you just broke down too. I gotta rewatch the movie now from that perspective. Cause that's dope. You know what's crazy? Somebody told me over there, it was like one of the main reasons like we look at you guys with an eye up is because you guys put your data in retirement homes. And I said, what you mean? They was like, you guys put your grandparents and your mothers in retirement homes when those are the people who have the information to feed the children. How are the kids supposed to learn when you're in the midst of living life and learning yourself? Those are the people that lived it. They're supposed to pass that down. That's something, we don't do that over here.
Yeah.
And I never looked at it like that.
That was one of the conversations we had with Akon as well. And he was like, the wisdom of the elders.
Yeah.
Like even at a level of success or quote unquote success that he's had, he still, before he makes a decision, checks in with his elders.
Yeah.
Because they have wisdom, even if it's not in a business sense, they have wisdom of life.
Yeah.
And he thinks that's one of the things that's missing. That when we talk about generational gaps,
Yeah.
it's like, how do we keep our elders as a part of the lineage of information to a younger generation, right? We talk about the population being so young in Africa, but do they know those traditions of tapping in with the elders?
Facts.
Right?
But then-
Because there's a certain level of knowledge that they can pass down, right? And you add that knowledge to the creativity, the innovation, and the energy that the youth have, and that becomes an unstoppable force.
Unstoppable.
But we got to realize it, though.
1,000.
But I think that was done intentionally because it's African tradition where
Right.
elders are respected, and it's African tradition. Like I went to the Louvre in Paris, which is like the most well-respected museum of all time, and it was interesting to me because I was looking at the Egyptian. You could spend a whole day just in the Egyptian. It's crazy how much artifacts they actually stole from Africa, but that's a different story. But the thing that I noticed from African art and African artifacts as opposed to the European art and the European artifacts is that most of the African arts had men and women together. The Europeans was just men. You know what I'm saying? Or just a woman.
Talk about it.
So it's like the family structure, that's always been part of African tradition, the elders. So it's like even the Willie Lynch, like this is a manuscript of how to make a slave. One of the things is play old versus young.
Yep.
Play men versus women. We see the same thing happening.
That's how they get us, bro.
We see it like even now to this day, you see social media, everybody debating about relationships and should you pay for a date, It's just men and women going back and forth. And then it's like the number one thing that hip hop has done over the last decade is, yo, you old rapper. Like you old.
Bro,
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I hate when people do that because well, everything we talk about is pros and cons, right? And it's ways that we fix that. Because I hate when people say the old rapper or you washed up or it's this and that, right? Because what we really doing is we tearing down our elders, right? That can help open up more doors and more lanes for us to have more platforms to create more revenue. The problem with that is a lot of our elders be still trying to rap like us. It's like, nigga, rap like the adult you is. Some of these rappers still be 47 talking about they got bitches in the club and still driving Bentleys. Nigga, you married with 3 kids and got businesses.
But there's a part that goes with that, right? And you come from this generation. It was like we never saw our artists grow old. We never got to see it.
I was about to get into that
Yeah,
because hip hop is relatively new.
Yeah, it's 50 years.
It's the 50th year of it.
Right.
So at anything with age, you get wiser.
Right.
So as we continue to grow as a culture, I think the labels as the old rapper or washed up or all those things will continue to go away because the dude who's 25 now is going to be 30 in 5 years and his life is going to be different. So he'll understand the person he was dissing 5 years ago because he'll be in that business playing that role that that person he was dissing just left.
And you can have mental, like KRS said something that was extremely insightful. He was like, old people have wisdom that young people don't have.
1,000%.
Young people have energy and information that older people don't have. They need each other. The information and the youthfulness is not the most beneficial if you don't have wisdom. But the wisdom is not even really that beneficial if you don't have new ideas. So it's like both have to respect each other. Like old people have to respect young people, and young people have to respect old people, and that's how you really. And like you said, now with hip hop, you have mentors. Like you have Busta Rhymes, you have Jay-Z, you have a Nas. Like we didn't have that wasn't there before, right? Now you have elder statesmen who have been respected, who's not like homeless. Like these are people that got money that people respect. That's what our culture still respects, right? Like. What's your watch look like? That's still something that's, but now it's like, all right, as a young rapper, I can sit down with X, Y, and Z, get information, give game, and now I'll be better suited as opposed to just trying to wing it.
But this is new. Like even this is new, right? Like I grew up listening to Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One. After a while, they couldn't even do a show because nobody was interested. Like now, like they're still doing tour. They on tour now. It's the only genre when you think about it inside of music where it's like, our artists couldn't get old, right? Because even like, think about Jay, right? Jay's 53 years old, LL's 55. they looked at it differently, right? They're not too far apart, but LL there was never a space where it was like, yo, this could be the Rolling Stones, or you guys could be, even in R&B we see it like now, with Anita Baker, she's still touring.
Yeah.
So like this is a brand new genre of letting our artists age, letting them mature, letting them go through life experience and explaining what that is. I think, like you said, the issue is that at 46, like I'm 41. Like I want to hear about what life is at this point, because and Nas said it, right? I've been wealthy a lot longer than I've been broke, which is true. I watched you at 20 when you dropped Illmatic. You about to be you 50 now. Like this 30 years of wealth.
Listen what Nas talking about.
And now it's changed.
It's changed.
Exactly.
So it's like we're watching Nas, we watching Jay, we're watching certain people do it. Like I'm saying, I think the problem is because hip hop is rooted in youthful culture, I feel like a lot of elder statesmen feel like they have to stay young, and that's not relatively the case anymore. We need y'all to grow up, to set an example, to give us the wisdom on what not to do, on how to, like, we don't want to go broke when we get y'all age.
Right.
Rap about how we don't do that.
Exactly.
Y'all don't tell us that. Y'all tell us, keep going. Post that shit on social. Keep your foot on their neck. You know what I'm saying?
Don't stop, youngin'.
Yeah. And then you DMing my producer trying to get a beat and all. It's like,
I need
bro,
that sound.
You feel me? No. Like, don't do that. Continue to be who you were, but just innovate your thing.
So when you're creating, because I think you're in the part, and Cole had it, I think he said it best when he made the song Middle Child.
Yeah.
Like he really is in the generation.
You know what's crazy?
What's that process like for you?
I was kind of mad at Cole for making that song.
You wanted to do it?
I wanted to make that so bad, bro. Because that's really who I am, bro. And he is too.
He is
too. But when I heard it, I said, "This fucker." It's like him. He just thinks shit I think. Like a lot of shit I feel and think. Like I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna do this, and then he'll just this motherfucker. I love Cole though. Shout out to Cole. What was you saying?
I was saying that when you're trying to create, as a middle child and knowing the dynamics, like how does that affect your process?
So what's crazy is Africa changed it. Before Africa, I was hit chasing. So that's why you'll see certain elements of what people love from me not match the music for the longest. Like I just kind of figured that out where results take time. So like Sacrifices, that's a Symba record. People love that.
That's my favorite one on there.
Never End Up Broke, Overnight, On God.
That Pop Out is official.
Blessings, see a pop out, things like that, right? But when you're in the business, you attempt new things. You know what I mean? Coca-Cola gonna try to sell you some cherry Coke. Now, whether you buy it or not, you know what I'm saying? It's up to you. Now, Street Nigga and Soul Ties, those are good records to me. But to the audience who's here for me right now, they don't necessarily want to hear that. But I've chased other audience that I feel may be a broader streaming audience or a radio audience and those different things. So I feel like that's confused my process until I went to Africa and I really just sat with myself like, you know what? It's a honor in life for people to even want something from you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just to even like know people wake up and want to hear me rap. Why would I not give them that every day? Why would I not just rap for what people want to hear me do? So my latest music that I'm getting ready to put out, my new project is called Don't Call Me Now. Coming soon. But it's rap based. It's what you see on Instagram and what you see in the radio freestyles in song format. You know, and it's taking me time to figure out how to do that. Like the Ja Morant thing. That's the freestyle in a song format. But it takes time. You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't come up like how some of these rappers came up with a producer and a song choreographer and people to structure their records. I've learned this shit on my own, on the fly for the last 15 years of my life. So I'm not going to always get the production right. I'm not going to always get the hook right, but I'll learn from my mistakes and next time I will.
Ja Morant, talk about that. That's interesting. The story is an interesting story, period. Very unfortunate situation, but you took a different approach. I feel like you wasn't extremely hard on him.
Yeah.
But you wasn't soft on him either.
Yeah.
Just walk me through that process.
Africa, bro. Understanding who I am, bro. I'm an incubator. I'm somebody that can help the older people understand the young people and the young people understand the old people. You feel me? So anything in our culture that goes on that needs to be addressed, I'm the person to say something. That's who I am. That's my identity in the game. So the first time Ja did it, it was like I was on tour. I'm like, come on, Ja. What the fuck you doing? But I'm like, this obviously he lit, he drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like,
started to the game.
Yeah. But then you do it a second time.
You bugging.
Right? So now it's like, okay, you got people who don't understand our culture, right? Who don't understand what it's like having millions of dollars, who don't understand what it's like trying to bring people out the hood that come from that culture and they're around you, and certain things find you just based off who you located next to. And they all got something to say. He's a thug. He's this. But y'all ain't never had to live that life. You know what I'm saying? And then you got people that's saying, oh, why is it wrong for him to carry a gun? And woo, motherfucker, because he's a fucking $200 million man that's a public face for the NBA. He's a role model. So for me, it was more so about getting everybody to understand the two, right? And even within that, understanding the role we as musicians play in this shit. Because it's like, we'll let rappers do that shit and it's cool all day. But because he got $200 million and he played for the NBA, we gonna look at him like a thug, but a rapper's cool? Like, it's too much hypocrisy in it. You know what I mean? So if we gonna talk about it, we gotta talk about the role we play in it. We make songs about killing niggas and shooting niggas. And I'm not saying we shouldn't, because that's certain people's lives and their stories and what they seen and what they've been through. But we all ain't gotta fall victim to that. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna address it every time I can and let people know, like, look at me, bro. I ain't never killed a nigga in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never shot a gun outside of a shooting range. It's like, I don't need to. And all black people ain't got to. Like, we all ain't gotta be that way. And we not. But that's how mainstream media want to portray us. So when Josh show a gun, it's easy for them to go from $200 million NBA player to a thug. It's like, nah, bro, hold on. Check this out for a minute. Understand where he coming from. It's pressure on, bro.
No, that's a fact.
There's a lot of pressure. I'm going back to that bar, as you said, man. It's a privilege and an honor for people to want something for you every day.
Yeah.
And the Ja Morant is a great example of it. Like, when you just doing those freestyles.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard that LA Leakers freestyle, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, how do I share? Yo, you heard this? You heard this? Then you did another one. I'm like, did you hear this? Did you hear this? Can I put in a request?
Yeah.
Because when I heard that LA Leakers freestyle, it made me think back to Beanie Siegel. He's one of my favorite rappers.
Okay.
Shout out to Shotty.
Yeah.
He had Beanie Siegel at my birthday, my 40th birthday.
Okay.
It was a moment. But it made me think back 1,000 bars.
Okay.
At some point,
Okay.
can we get on 1,000 bars?
Say
1,000
no more.
bars is a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of bars.
It's a lot.
It's like 20 minutes.
He did, well, it was like a 10-minute freestyle. It was him and Bleak. They did, and I was
you heard it before, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I know, because you come from, I know you study
No,
that.
it's not. It's one of them things where it's a free fall, where you just let it all out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm at this space where it's like, bro, I say so much in my raps, like the way I write. I think 1,000 bars for me would sound like a fucking
dictionary
biology class that people don't want to sit through.
It'd be like cannabis.
Yeah, because I'm very passionate about the shit I say.
Yeah.
Like, I hate just saying shit to say it.
Yeah.
Like, I have a hard time making songs about nothing. You know how people could just go in there and be like, $1 million on my wrist, badass bitch, she gonna suck my dick soon as I empty my clip, I'm with the shit.
That's a hit record right there.
Yo,
Yeah,
drop a beat
I
to
can
that.
do that shit in my sleep. But it's like, what the fuck did I just say?
A whole lot of records
You
about
like that. That's his vibe.
Like, I like that
But
shit.
it's like, what did I just say? It's like, what did I just say? And that's no offense to people who make music like that. It's just, for me, that shit don't sit right with my soul for what I like to listen to and for what I like to make. You know what I mean? I feel like when I'm getting on the mic, I gotta say something, because one day, bro, I'm gonna be gone. And I ain't gonna be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what people gonna have left is my words and my music. So I want it to mean something. I don't want it to just be some shit I put together.
So we
Please not Sim.
We met your brother. Interesting story.
Yeah.
Tell us that. Manager, family business. But y'all just recently met.
Yeah.
Tell us an interesting story.
Yeah, so my dad, bro, you know, street cat, you know, doing his thing, and he ended up in prison when I was young, when we both was young. But my brother, he kind of was more so like my dad. He was more in the streets and shit. And my mom, she kind of, when I was younger, my mom kind of like segregated me from like the streets, like just totally moved me from that life, because my mom was in the streets. And when I was young, she just kind of moved me from it. So I naturally just like was always into the arts and different things. So we never really crossed paths or whatever, even though we was probably around each other a lot, but didn't have the same interest in life to even have a conversation or nothing like that. So my dad passed years ago, and I remember meeting him when I was younger, and I used to always be like, man, I got a brother somewhere. And then I started doing music, and one day my uncle, Street Life, he hit me. And he was like, man, you got a brother, bro. Like, he just came home. You should get in touch with him. He a cool dude. And then it's like, I just had the freestyle come out. LeBron posted me, so I'm like, here they go with this shit.
This shit.
Family out of
I'm
nowhere.
like, here come this shit, right?
This shit.
So I'm telling my
17
mom
cousins.
and shit. Like, I'm telling my mom, like, she like, nah, you do. She's like, you remember you met him? I'm like, yeah, I do. But I'm like, I don't really know. So we end up talking on Instagram. And then we would, you know, talk here and there, back and forth. And then one day I was in Philly, drunk as hell. You know them nights when like you be out late drinking and you go to sleep at like 5 a.m. and then you wake up at 7:30 still lit, like can't go back to sleep. It was one of them days. So I ended up calling him, and then we was just on the phone for like 4 hours and shit. Ever since then, we just been rocking. Ever since then, dog, we just been traveling the world and rapping and trapping. Rapping and rapping.
Rapping and trapping.
Yeah, man.
How's that been? Just because it's once again going back to that story where it's like long lost people that's being reunited. Like, obviously a lot of time was lost, but how's that like been as far as just like connecting with somebody that you never really had a relationship with?
I feel like it worked out better as we got older, because I was so one-track minded when I was younger, and for what he was involved in, I would have been like, I ain't going around that nigga. You feel me? I would have just totally separated myself and been closed off. But me being older and him being older and having an understanding of certain things he been through and me having a certain understanding of things I've been through, we was able to have a conversation that we related to each other through different scenarios. So it's things he been through in the streets that I've been through in music. You know what I mean? And we could relate through it through communication. But if we never would have been able to live life to experience them things, what would we have to talk about? You know, so I feel like it kind of worked out as we got older than it did younger. You know what I mean? But I got like siblings and shit that we was cooler when we was younger, and I don't even talk to their ass.
How many siblings you have?
I got a younger brother. I got an older sister. I got another sister in Texas and another sister in Atlanta. And I think I got another brother, but I'm not 100%
After
sure.
the new album, we're
Pops
going to have like
was
4 more.
Huh?
Pops was a Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps. It's interesting because you talk about managing and we talk about new music on the way. I wonder what you define as success, because you don't take me as the guy that's like, hey, I got this many streams, or I sold this many records.
Yeah.
So how do you quantify success for your music?
Achieving a goal. Just like whatever my goal was for it. Like, last year my goal was to put out a project and find where my fans were. That was literally my definition of success for 2022. Bro, I ended up on Jimmy Kimmel, The Breakfast Club, Funk Master Flex. I didn't imagine none of that. I thought that was gonna happen 2-3 years later. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just like achieving a goal. Like right now, like I want to make $5 million. Like that's my goal.
By any means necessary.
That's my year. Like this year, I wanted to just like have $5 million tucked. Like, all right, that's over there. Like that's my new goal. And then I'm pretty sure when I do that, I'm gonna want 100 million. You know what I mean? So it changes every day, but it's like that's my new goal. Like that's what's gonna make me feel successful is the day that I know I got 5 million tucked right now.
So you got the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
Getting your jersey from Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
But it was a partnership with the NBA?
ESPN.
What was the deal with that?
So basically, we were able to make the music for the commercials. So something I've realized is my music does better on other platforms and on streaming sites. Because the people who listen to my music, what I've realized is they have a tough time navigating through the internet. So I don't have a lot of like young kids that listen to me. They will in the next 2 to 3 years as they grow up, you know, and experience life more. But it's hard for them to navigate through the internet for who listens to me currently. So I've found ways to find platforms that they like to live on, like the NBA or the NFL or
Video games.
Earn Your Leisure, video games, Joe Budden's podcast, different platforms that I know my demographic pays attention to because they're a very inquisitive demographic. So I have to go to those platforms. And the NBA was one of them. So they noticed that I just be at a lot of games. I'm just a big hoop fan because I play hoop. I feel like a lot of hoopers relate to my music because I tell a lot of stories that hoopers go through. So I've, cool with Draymond Green, cool with Kevin Durant, cool with LeBron James, and they could see that. So I was making music for Madden last year and 2K, and when I did the Warriors halftime show in December for the Celtics, they was like, yo, we want to kind of figure something out for ESPN, like a song or something for the playoffs. And they was like, let's do it. So we had a conversation about us, making music for the commercial. So they sent us a bunch of clips and stuff to watch. And me, Raven, and my boy Jay the Great, we just sat in there and we came up with a bunch of ideas. And next thing we know, like, they was all over ESPN.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So you're a Warriors guy?
Oh, man.
Let's just put this out there.
Yes.
Okay.
I am a Golden State Warrior.
Okay.
But Symba is a Symba is a Los Angeles Warrior son.
What? The Los Angeles Warriors son. So you're a Lakers fan? A Lakers or a Clippers?
Lakers.
Lakers, Warriors, and the Suns.
Yes.
The whole West, you just West Coast.
I mean,
I'm fans of players.
you got,
so that's my thing.
yeah, you got 3 teams in the same division.
I've never supported institutions. I only support individuals. So
Ooh, I'm still in that. I'm telling you right here, live on camera.
No. It's an easy cop
I'm
out.
still in that.
No, you can't steal it because it's an easy
it's
cop
real.
out.
It's real.
No, bro, that's me.
It's real.
I've never been a fan of no offense, I've never been a fan of the Lakers. I was a fan of the Lakers so long because they had Kobe Bryant.
You're a fan of Kobe.
And I was a fan of Kobe. That was that's my favorite player ever. I was a fan of the Lakers when they got Pau Gasol. I was a fan of the Lakers when LeBron came. You know what I mean? So in that gap between,
You wasn't with him.
I went back to my Warriors.
That's a fact.
And my Warriors start turning up because I was with the Warriors
So
from
some
the
could
We
look at
Believe
that
team.
as a guy who likes the front running team, right? Because
No, you
here's
attach
why.
the player.
Here's why. Kobe's winning championships. I'm with them. Warriors winning championships. I'm with them.
But I was with Kobe when he wasn't winning championships.
Yeah, exactly.
That was so like in the 90s.
Bro, Kobe took Brandy to the prom. What are we talking
That's a
about?
fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
That was my idol, dog. I
That's a
wanted to
fact.
take Brandy to the prom so bad. And I wasn't old enough to go to no prom. But Kobe did.
He did. He definitely did that. He definitely did that. And won 3 years after that, 4 years after that.
Yeah.
And so,
And then Shaq left.
and you stayed.
And we had a rough few years.
I like that you said we.
We had a rough few years. But
Okay.
in them rough few years, I was going to them We Believe games. Watching my dog Baron Davis, Steven
Shout out
Jackson,
to BD.
Matt Barnes. I was watching the Donald Foyle and them boys. I was there.
Donald Foyle.
I was
Donald
there.
Foyle.
I respect that.
Colgate.
My team.
That's different than what he's going to tell
That's
you.
my
It's
team.
not- it's not-
It is different. You're going to tell me LeBron and you put...
Listen,
Go ahead.
I have 3 players that I've supported over the last 25 years of basketball. You gotta realize, I played basketball every single day of my life
Yeah,
for 20 years. I'm like, basketball was my life.
yeah.
Latrell Sprewell was my first guy.
Okay.
On Golden State, actually, and then when he got to the Knicks as well. Allen Iverson, when he got into the league,
Well, that's new. Latrell on the Knicks, you was with?
not as much as Golden State, but I always was a Latrell Sprewell fan.
Yeah,
That's why I wore 15.
I'm saying, like, this is different. Like, I'm a Latrell Sprewell fan, but I'm going to tell you the entire starting lineup that he was with. Because
But
I was
listen-
watching him play.
You gotta let me finish.
And you was in Golden State with
Yeah.
them.
You gotta let me finish.
Yeah, I'm letting you go. Go.
I wore 15 because of Sprewell. He never won a championship in Golden State.
He's a great player.
Allen Iverson.
Great player.
Yeah.
I was an Allen Iverson
Same
fanatic.
here. Same here.
AI fanatic.
But you're not you weren't a Sixers fan.
I was a Sixers fan.
That's what I'm
I was
asking
rooting
you.
for the Sixers because Allen Iverson.
Allen
was on the
Iverson.
team.
Same here.
And then when LeBron gets into the league,
Then what?
it was LeBron.
Then you're not rocking with the Sixers no more.
He was out of the Sixers, I think. at
No,
that
he wasn't.
point.
He came in 2003. Bron came in 2003.
Okay, well-
AI had just won an MVP.
When LeBron came in, my alliances with LeBron.
Yeah.
There's no loyalty there.
It's
There's no loyalty.
Nah,
been
it
with LeBron
is.
for
He
20
still
years.
rock with his guy.
I've been with LeBron for 20 years.
AI was still playing, bro.
But that don't mean you can't like somebody else.
It changes.
No loyalty.
No,
I'ma tell you straight up.
It changes.
That's
I've
like
been a-
saying because you like LaRussell, you can't like Symba.
I like both of y'all.
Okay, so it's no loyalty.
No, it's not. No, I
That's
like
what you
both-
just said.
No, this is a team sport. That's individual.
Nope.
That's
It's a team sport.
No. Because if he tries to go at you, you're gonna go back at him, and it's gonna be an individual thing.
It's
If
like
the Lakers go at the Warriors, they're
Yeah.
gonna go back at each other.
You
players,
can't root- who you
players,
rooting
switch,
for?
players switch teams, bro. Most players don't play with the same
it
team.
That's
doesn't-
my
like-
brother, by the way. I was just using that as
Yeah, his loyalty, right? When I found out about the game of basketball, late 80s, the Bulls was my team. To this day, I don't care. The Bulls are my team.
Yeah, but there's two
Ups, downs, we ain't win since 90. I get it.
So just because
Players,
you're
all-
loyal to a fault
Exactly.
don't mean there's no loyalty.
Exactly.
I said, that's not loyalty.
You just like my homie Kurt. He's a Dallas Cowboys fan. Every
those are the most
year
loyal.
they're going to the Super Bowl.
And they
Every year.
I'm realistic,
Like, bro,
though.
you just loyal to a fault.
I'm realistic, though, with my loyalty. I know, like, this is not a championship team. When we got Derrick Rose, I'm like, all right,
I'm
we
loyal
got a chance.
to the Golden State Warriors because of Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Michael Petrus, Baron Davis, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, what was my boy? Jason Richardson.
What about,
I'm loyal to the
Jason
Lakers
Richardson, yeah,
because of LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and Magic Johnson. Even though I was too young for Magic Johnson, I watched his highlights.
okay.
I'm loyal to the Phoenix Suns only because of their fan base and Kevin Durant.
See, it's
So before Kevin Durant, you weren't rocking with them?
Not until Kevin Durant.
It's like,
Because I'm loyal to Kevin Durant.
yeah.
Got
That's what
you.
I'm saying, you got
so
it.
you was in Brooklyn.
That's my guy. Wherever he go,
Wherever you go, you
I'm
go.
buying a jersey.
Okay.
So,
and I'm going to be at the game.
speaking of basketball,
Got you.
You made a comment that you recently recanted. You said you was educated. You received education on it with the Michael Jordan thing.
I was going to save this apology. I was going to save this apology for Gilbert Arenas show. But fuck it.
Go ahead.
Jeffrey Jordan, a.k.a. the Black Cat, a.k.a. Black Jesus,
Like, Jesus.
a.k.a. the #1 shoe ever. I apologize. You are the greatest basketball player of all time. Of all time. If there's ever a GOAT, even though I said no one's the GOAT, we're all the GOAT. If there's ever a GOAT, it's because of you. I'm sorry. I apologize. You are the greatest of all time.
And as a lifelong Chicago fan, I stand by that statement.
Michael is definitely.
He's the GOAT.
He's a GOAT for sure.
Yo, stop with the A. He had his moment, man.
No, he's definitely a GOAT.
He's a GOAT.
He's a legend.
He said the, and you're saying A. It's two different things.
I got schooled.
When the education happened, like what they would like give you statistics, they were showing you game film. Like,
Bro.
what did they do? What did they do to change your
Film
mind?
study with him.
I'm going to tell you who it was. I didn't even tell nobody who gave me the lesson. I'm going to say it right here. It was KD.
Katie gave you the lesson.
Bro,
No, what better person?
I went to
Okay.
KD's
Hear that,
house.
So hold on, let me tell the
Go
story.
ahead.
I went to KD's house after game 4. Right?
In Phoenix.
Yes. Bro. He literally put me through Michael Jordan school. Literally, like, from the beginning, dog. Like, bro, how could you can't never say that again. You gotta understand, they wouldn't even pick guards in the top 5 of players before Mike. It was a big man's league. People like Grant Hill and all these people start getting drafted early. Like, he's just going, there's no stop and pop. There's no fadeaway. You got to understand, I'm able to dribble the way I dribble and cross people over because Mike went to the front office and said, people can't keep playing this aggressive. Well, like, he was just on me. And I'm like, damn, I didn't know all of that. Then the part that got me was when he told me he won MVP, Defensive Player of the Year,
Yes.
and All-Team NBA in the same season.
I believe the year was 88.
I said, dog, I am foul.
Nah,
I am foul, and I apologize.
Mike.
I did not understand it. I felt like Mike was first because he was like doing things first. It made him look a lot better than he was. But when Kevin broke it down and showed me the stats and showed me everything he created, the way people finish around the basket, the way Kyrie finished, just certain things, the crossover Kobe had, just Jimmy Butler's crossover. Like, he just broke it down.
Convincing
bro.
argument.
Yeah, he broke it down.
Ray Allen just had a similar argument.
He broke it
Michael
down.
Jordan is, I mean, he's
And you
Michael
take
Jordan.
you're just gonna stick with the A?
I'm loyal. I mean,
Dog, he broke it down so cold,
that
dog.
means something. But like I said, Michael, he's definitely, he's an icon. He's an icon.
He showed me some game where like Mike was just having a bad game where it was looking like he didn't even want to play. And then some dude said something in the 4th quarter like,
I was just watching that.
yeah, it was like, you off the night, champ, or
he's
something.
Like, yeah.
And he just came out and dropped 23 and won the game.
I was
And
just watching that actually 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I was just watching that.
KD showed me that, bro. I was like, yeah,
Shout
I'm
out to
sorry.
KD, man.
Shout out
I'm
to
sorry,
KD.
Mike.
Put in the game.
I'm
Shout out to
sorry.
KD. Before we leave, we got to talk about this artificial intelligence.
Yeah,
This is something that is very controversial. Timbaland, you heard the song with Big?
yeah.
You like it?
It was okay.
Yeah, I thought it was okay too.
Yeah.
This Drake song's hard.
Hard.
The Drake song's tough.
Hard.
So a lot of people's going back and forth with it. Some people like it, some people don't like it. What's your thoughts on this?
I like it. Like I said earlier, bro, I'm a fan of innovation. So I understand that it's, hasn't been regulated yet, even though I'm reading things about it becoming that. I see Universal just did a deal with an AI company. I think Warner's getting ready to do some things with an AI company, and pretty sure Sony is too. But I think it's great. I think people are scared of it because I think it replaces us in a lot of ways, but at the same time, it helps us in a lot of ways. And it's nothing like, one thing about humans, bro, it's nothing like human-to-human interaction. You know what I mean? So no matter how much the AI can duplicate our emotions and all these different things, it ain't lived our life. And it can't tell our story like we can. You know what I mean? So it might be able to say things we've been a part of a lot faster, a lot more efficient, but let's use it as a tool. Let's use it as a tool to make us more faster and efficient, rather than looking at it as something that's like going to take our jobs or whatever it may be. But I think it's dope, bro. I can't wait to hear the joint Biggie and Tupac mixtape. Like I can't wait to hear Kendrick and Drake album.
Would you do a song with AI? Like, would you do a song with Tupac on the AI vibe?
Oh, I got a Jay-Z feature at the crib.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. Me and Pac got some shit. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Is-
like,
is-
One way or another.
yeah.
Is
yeah.
that like, and I know you love Jay. We have a mutual.
Yeah, it's my favorite ever, bro.
Is that the dream collab for you? Like, if
yeah.
we had to do it in real life.
Drake, Future, and Drake. Jay, Future, and Drake. Those are my 3. And J. Cole.
The J. Cole one.
And Kendrick would be my 5th.
I told you. You remember the conversation I had with you
Yeah.
about that song?
Yeah, those are like my favorite. My number 1 would be Hov for sure, because like I always say, he the reason I rap.
Yeah.
Like Hov.
He tapped in?
No, but Lenny's my guy.
Shout out to
Earl's
yes.
my guy. Who else I talk? Guru shows me a lot of support.
He's tapped in there.
Yeah,
he's
Sherry
tapped
knows
in.
a lot of
Those
people
guys are
know
tapped in.
me.
He's tapped in.
Yeah, but I haven't physically talked to him or met him in person. But he's literally the reason I rap, bro. Like he was the one that made me be like, oh, okay, I ain't gotta just, rap about shooting a motherfucker, you know what I mean, selling drugs and all this. Even though Hove talked about it, he talked about the
Hov
things
did
that
that.
come with it.
Yeah.
So hopefully you don't have to go through that.
He wasn't just like,
Just
I'm on the corner selling drugs, it's the greatest life ever. You know what I'm saying? Like he was really telling you, like, nigga, chains is cool to cop, but most important is
Lawyer
fees.
fees.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
I'm
how
from
it
the
is now.
place where it's the shakiest. But he said niggas don't come around alone because they atheists.
Niggas pray to God so long.
Niggas pray to God so long that they atheists.
For what you can't.
I'm from the other side where other guys don't talk too much. And the dudes ran up, let's say the girls ran down to Thompson, them dudes to trust. I don't know what the fuck they thought. Them niggas is foul just like us. I'm from where the beef is inevitable.
Summertime's unforgettable.
Like
beef is in abundance by
half price for the new. You know what I'm
was
saying?
everything. Don't let me.
Like that shit.
We go bar for bar here.
That shit.
About it if you ain't living.
That shit made me be like, damn, I could rap about what's going on around me. I ain't necessarily got to be like,
living it.
I'm doing the shit.
Yeah, like,
And that's really where I got my style from.
How many classics does he have?
I think the only Jay-Z album that's not a classic is Kingdom Come and Blueprint 3. I think everyone
else is a classic.
And I could be biased.
Obviously.
I'm biased. I'm biased with you.
I could be
Shout out to
biased.
Hov, man.
But to me, they're all classics because they're all revelations of where he was in life at that moment. And they're great bodies of work. And they're all things we could go back to. Like I could go to Magna Carta right now and learn some shit. I can go to 444 right now and there's some shit I was just going through in my BM. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling her, like, it's the same shit. I could go to Blueprint 1, Blueprint 2, Blueprint 2.5, Black Album,
Volume 1.
Yeah, Volume 1. Like, they're all classics in their own way. So,
shout out to Hov, man.
Yeah.
That's
the GOAT
of all time.
Shout out to Hov,
The
man.
GOAT.
Shotty.
For sure.
We said the GOAT.
Once again,
You could call Hov the GOAT. Hov is definitely the Michael Jordan of rap.
They stay, like I said, it's loyalty. Speaking of loyalty, so this is the last story I'll tell about the hip hop. I'm so loyal. That's why I'm surprised you say I'm not loyal. I'm probably the most loyal person ever. Nas, my son's name is Nasir. So obviously, like Nas, that's my favorite ever. So it was tough times for Nas when Takeover came out, right? He was a big Nas fan, huge Nas fan.
Still am.
Takeover came out. He called me on my mother's house phone, right? Like,
His
yo, your man's done. Said,
no. Don't tell the story like
I said,
that.
what you talking about?
Don't tell the story like that.
Yo, you heard the Takeover joint? I'm like, what you talking about right now, bro? He played me Takeover over the phone. I listened to it. That's how loyal I am. I said, yeah, shit's whack.
That part of the story is true. That part of the I promise you, that part of the story is true.
Because I could not
That's true.
Go against
Unpopular opinion, Takeover was better than either.
No.
No, we're not gonna do that. But that part of the story was true. The other part was not. I didn't say your man did. I said, yo,
you said it's
we got
over.
a problem.
You said it's over.
I didn't say it's over. I said we got a problem.
And then that Ether
problem
came out.
Not before Ether, because then he dropped
Takeover was better than either.
A lot of people say that.
It was.
As a song, you saying? As
everything.
Like production, lyrics.
Ether just had more shock value.
You gotta look at it like this. For me, when Ether came out, the impact that it had on New York City, I don't know about everywhere else in the world.
No.
Impact that it had on New York City.
It felt like that in the world.
Yo, it was.
Bro, I went to school the next day, and it was just like, it was mayhem.
That was a moment.
Yo, it was bombs over Baghdad.
We had to get to the radio to see, like, remember, Angie had the whole thing when we got the vote. It was a moment.
Yeah, it was
a moment.
That was a crazy moment as a kid. Like, and I'm, as a Hov fan, I'm like, ooh, Hov, what you gonna do? And then he just came with Super Ugly, and I was like,
yeah, did he apologize? And it was like, oh.
You know, shout out.
But Takeover is better than either.
So we asked Ice Cube his top 5 I don't know if you saw that. It's been trending online. We asked him his top 5 battle songs of all time. He didn't even have Takeover
wasn't
in
in
the
it.
top 5.
Yeah.
He had No Vaseline, Ether.
Undeniably number one.
He had
Because Cube is a West Coast nigga and just Ether's so aggressive. Like he just, Cube West Coast to the core. West Coast music is rooted in aggression.
I didn't realize how I'm not from that era, so I never really grew up on NWA, nothing like that. But
Yeah.
I had to go back and listen to No Vaseline.
It's hard.
Crazy.
It's hard.
Nah, No Vaseline's
It's
great.
hard. No, it's hard. Definitely hard.
Cube is one of the greats, bro.
No, that's a hard.
That's
Lyrically,
hard.
one of the goats, bro. Like he's cold. Like we was talking about the other day, like who's a better lyricist, Cube or Scarface?
That's tough.
Face is tough though.
Face has one of my favorite albums all time.
The Fix.
You know what I mean?
The
Like
Fix.
Fix is one of my
that's
favorite
a
albums.
tough one. Because if you think about it, they like represent the same.
Like
yeah,
the same.
yeah.
They're like
You know
one
what I
from
mean?
Texas,
That's
one from LA.
Yeah,
They're
like they
the same type of
represent the
person.
same shit.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's like DMX. He kind of like that type of person too.
X was, man, that was my favorite, like for a long time when I was a kid. Like X.
Excellent.
In your creative laboratory, and you had the New York Mount Rushmore. Who was it?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Gotta see.
New show coming soon.
New show coming soon.
It will be revealed.
Yo, I appreciate you, brother, man. What do you want the people to be aware of? You say you got the new project dropping.
Yeah.
What's the info, everything?
Man, new project on the way. Don't call me now, coming soon. We got a date coming for you soon. But most importantly, man, y'all stay aware of self. Stay aware of positive energy. Stay aware of these brothers. Stay aware of everybody in the culture, man, that's doing their part to keep us moving forward. Creating black businesses, taking people off the streets and putting them in meetings. Let's be aware of that, man. Till then, let's keep doing what we doing, champ.
Appreciate you, man. Like I said, I really appreciate the music. I'm a fan, so I'm watching, rooting for you, man. So, keep going, man.
Same here, bro. I appreciate y'all platform. I'm coming to InvestFest too.
There it is.
You heard
love.
it. You
Yeah,
heard it. You heard it first, ladies
be
and
there.
gentlemen.
Real spitter.
Yes. All right, guys. Thanks for rocking with us. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
My graduates from my school being Forbes, bag drop.
Bag drop.
A mic drop, bag drop.
Bag drop.